talk show that's focused on real talk with real people. And I'm the host, Toni Morris. When we look at people in our communities and what they're doing, and at this time in our election year, we hear the different parties. We hear the Republicans, we hear the Democrats, but we don't ever see who they are. Today I have with us in studio a special guest. Her name is Vikki Andrews, and she's with the Cumberland County Democratic Party. Welcome, Vikki. How are you today?
I'm very well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me.
Just so you know, I'm not even going to act like this. Me and Vikki know each other. Okay? So if we do some things and, we're a little more familiar, that's because we do know each other. Okay? So how you doing, girl?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
All right. So, Vikki, tell everybody a little bit about you.
About me?
Yeah. Who is Vikki Andrews?
Oh, we don't have time for all that.
Okay.
But, no, I'm just, I am retired, so I just do a lot of volunteering work. And right now I am first vice chair of the Cumberland County Democratic Party, and so I'm working really hard to help get all Democrats elected. I just returned back from the Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
I am, when they say fired up and ready to go,
I know you are.
I'm fired up. I'm definitely ready to go.
Yes. Okay, great. And that's another thing we're going to talk about today. We're going to get to the convention.
Okay.
But I just want to give it, now I called you Vikki Andrews, but you have another title, which is what?
You tell me.
Dr. Vikki Andrews. Yes, this is Dr. Vikki Andrews. Again, we know each other, so I called that. But I want to let you know she is a doctor. So tell us what your doctorate's in.
My doctorate is in adult education, gerontology, and program evaluation, and I have a minor in counseling.
Okay, you see? So again, not only with part of the party, but she's got some skills that you can use for Vikki. Okay? Now, let's see. What do you do with the party?
Well, as I said, I'm the first vice chair, and right now we are geared up for the Get Out the Vote effort in terms of the general election in November. And so everything I'm doing right now is geared towards that. And so I'm working with individual candidates, I'm working with the party, just what the party's platform is, and what the party's Get Out the Vote effort is. Okay.
A woman with many skills, Vikki Andrews. Now, do you have family?
I do. I have a son who just graduated from Elizabeth City State University.
Okay.
Very proud of that.
All right.
I do have two sisters who live in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I have a brother that lives in San Francisco. My father's still living. He lives in Sacramento, California.
Okay. Now your son, does he belong to a fraternity?
He does.
Okay. Which fraternity is that?
He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay, Phi Beta Sigma. So all you Phi Beta Sigmas, this is a parent of one of your brothers, okay? So you know this is good people right here. So Vikki Andrews, parent of a Phi Beta Sigma. All right. How proud are you of your son?
I'm thrilled because my son will be 23 in about 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
And, he's never given me anything to not be proud of him of. He finished college, like I said, graduated, and he always knew that college was it for him. So it wasn't whether or not he was going to college; it was much more of which college were you going to go to, because that was the only option for him. And so right now he's doing the transition. He's looking for a job. He's been a little forward thinking. He's got a couple little kind of part-time jobs he's trying to so he's not clearly sure what he's going to do, but whatever he does, he's going to succeed, because he knows that's how we do it in our house.
That's right. And see, this is what we talk about as parents. You lay that foundation, and you don't have to worry about it. Your children will get it. Again, that is so great. I am so glad you are here today. I'm just excited. Y'all just don't understand. Vikki Andrews is here with me today. This is so wonderful. Now, you mentioned earlier you went to the convention.
I did.
What was your job? You just went to look? You want to just stand around?
No,
What'd you do?
No, I was actually selected to be part of the podium staff.
Selected?
Right. This is considered to be a very prestigious committee for the convention, because there are only about 90 people throughout the United States, and our job was to make sure that all the speakers got to the podium on time and took care of all their entourage, because they all have entourages. And that was very, very exciting. I had the opportunity to meet all the big name Democrats. I got to meet them all and to see them up close. And you know how you see someone on TV, but then you see them in person. It's like, I was only starstruck by one of the entertainers, but it was very exciting and such a privilege.
Which entertainer?
That would be Mary J. Blige.
Oh, that's right, Mary J. wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, no, she was there. But, I mean, and there were others. Lettucey, Amber Riley from Glee, Mark Anthony, Kerry Washington. I got to see them all because my job was to be at the credentials desk. So backstage you can only move so far without certain credentials. So I was at the credentials desk, and so everybody coming through had to come through where I was assigned to work. So that was really exciting. I was there with Karen Savell, who I co-host a radio show with on WIDU 1600 AM, and the show is called The Raleigh Report, and we're on Mondays at 11. And we were both selected for this opportunity, and Karen actually worked in the green room, which means that's the last place that all the speakers go before they go up on stage. So she got to see them as they were getting their makeup done, because everything was HD, so you have to have a special type of makeup for that, because you know they can see every pore in HD. So she got to see everybody, you know, after their makeup was done, and you know how the people are prepping to go on stage, and you know a lot of going over last minute things, going over what they're going to say and that kind of thing. So we really counted it as a tremendous opportunity, and we really had a good time. Long days, but a really good time.
So did you go just 1 day, 2 days? How long were you there?
We were there 8.5 days.
8.5 days.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay, 8.5 days in Charlotte working.
Yes, and it was work. Contrary to what some of my friends tried to, we worked probably 14 to 16 hour days every day.
So
every day we were there.
It was work. Okay, and you had to pay your way. Am I correct?
We did.
Okay, so there was no money coming from anybody to pay for this.
No, as a matter of fact, all the people that volunteers were volunteers. Everybody. There was no staff, like the presidential staff, none of that. The people that, of course, you know, you had Secret Service and those kinds of folks, they were paid. But the volunteers, all the volunteers in Charlotte were just that, volunteers. That means everybody donated their time and paid their own way. Okay,
great. We're going to take a break right now. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the convention and get some real scoop on some real people who were there from a real person, Vikki Andrews, okay? So go on and take a break and come on back and hang out with us, okay? Welcome back to Tony Time. Today we're talking with Vikki Andrews, and we're talking about the Democratic convention that she was in. So Vikki, when all the speakers, now for those who watched it from TV and, you know, different venues, they saw, you know, Michelle Obama. What did you think about her?
She was fabulous.
Okay.
She was fabulous. You could feel the energy in the room when she arrived, and in the hall where she did the actually did the speaking. People were pumped up, people were crying, there was a lot, you could feel a lot of love for her in that room. And I hope that it translated that well for people who were unable to attend but watched it on TV, because that atmosphere was powerful. It really was powerful.
And I know when we watched her, there was so many people out there who were crying, you know, as she spoke, you know, which let me know they really related to what she's saying, and that was so powerful. But I guess that's her personality.
I think so. I think that she brings to a sense of everydayness, that she's relatable, that you can understand, or you feel like she's been through the same things that the average person has been through. And I think that's very important. I think that's what helps her likability a great deal.
Okay, great. Okay, now, what about Bill Clinton? We know Bill Clinton. He's a wonderful speaker, president, we know him. So what did you think about it?
I thought that his speech was timely. I thought that he did exactly what he needed to do. He dismantled every argument that the other side, the Republican side, has, and he did it in the way that only Bill Clinton can. He was clear, he was understandable, and because people still love him and think back to how good how prosperous they were when he was president, he was very, very well received, very well received. And so that just to tie, because President Obama becomes when he's reelected, because I believe that he will be reelected.
He will be. He'll be reelected.
That again, I think, bodes for prosperity for not just Democrats but all Americans. Very similar to what happened during the Clinton administration.
Great. Okay. Now, President Obama. Did you get a meet him?
No. But I did see him. I saw him getting into his car when he was leaving.
So he didn't have to come by the credentials desk, did he?
No, he did not. The Secret Service, they really, just in terms of his safety, and not only his safety, but his family safety, the Vice President, his family safety, there's certain things that people are allowed to do and not allowed to do. And it really is about their safety. And so they had a different protocol for them.
Okay. And that makes sense, like you said, because that's the President of the United States, Vice President of the United States, and their families. We want to take care of them. So I can understand that. So that is great. So I felt energy as I watched. Was that energy the same that you felt?
Amazing. It was amazing. The people who were on the podium staff on this committee that I was on, we did not really have seats in the hall, so we could come and stand and watch. And when the President and the Vice President spoke, of course there was no seating, so you could either watch it backstage on TV or you could be in the hall. And so you had to being in the hall was just, that atmosphere, that ambiance was it was infectious. People were excited, and when you looked at the convention, what you saw, I think, was America. You saw people who looked like Americans, not just one segment of America, but Americans. And people were, regardless if you knew the person, everybody was there for a common cause, and you felt a sense of connectedness and energy. And I'm telling you, the people were, talk about fired up and ready to go, fired up and absolutely ready to go. Okay, so now that you're back in Cumberland County, okay, not in Mecklenburg County anymore, how fired up do we need to get Cumberland County? How fired up do we need to get Cumberland County? We do, because Cumberland County is very, very important to North Carolina going blue for the president. Very important. We've registered more Democrats than anybody. And so what we've got to now do is make sure that the folks that we have registered actually go to the polls and vote. And that they know who to vote for. So part of the next phase of our Get Out the Vote campaign is to educate Democrats on who the Democrats are, and to make sure that we understand the voting process and where to vote, and to make sure that we then go out and vote. Great. And as you can see, this is why Tony Time is so important, because we're getting real people on there for you to see, so you know who to vote for. You heard it from Vicki Andrews here today. And we want to thank you so much for taking the time to come out and see us. And we appreciate all that information. I thank you so much. Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. Well, this is wonderful. Okay, I know we got to wrap it up. Okay, but we're going to talk about this. Okay. Absolutely. All right. We want to thank Vicki again for coming on Tony Time. Remember, get out to vote. It's your right. Do not let this pass you. You can't go back and fix it. This is your time. This is our time. Let's get out and vote. And thank you again for coming to Tony Time. And we'll see you next week when our guest will be Roberta Waddle. She's with the National Organization for Women, which is located in Fayetteville. That's one of the branches in Fayetteville. We'll see you then. Until next time, see you later from Tony Time.